Who are you guys?
Back to the true fake music. Straight out of true fake music. There's a way true fake music. Keep Boston, true fake music. Saudi, true fake music.
All right. And what were you guys talking? You were talking about a dark cloud. What?
Yeah, we talk about the dark cloud that's over our city. You know what I'm saying? It's called Camden, New Jersey. This year is like really the worst city in America. You know what I mean?
Second year in a row. Worst city in America.
Why?
It's the poorest city in America also.
What kind of stuff happens there?
Murder every day. Murder, Camden, we call it CMD, man. Crime, murder, drugs. That's murder, drugs. It's bad. It's not that there's so many murders there. It's like, it's so small. For the stuff that happens there, it has the highest murder rate. The highest murder rate per capita in the U.S.
You're kidding. Now, what Campbell's what is there?
Campbell's Soup used to be there. RCA, like the record company, the building that makes the TVs and all that. RCA used to be there. It was a big riot in the 70s that actually corrupted the city and then cracked the streets in the 80s and kept it down. And it's still been trying to be a recovering city since then, but it's still a bad city, and it's one of the hardest cities to make it out of, to pass the age 21 in. Like, there's a lot of statistics that come into Kansas City, and it's just a bad neighborhood, but we're lucky and blessed enough to be able to be smart and talented to make it out of that city by doing music, doing what we do, being an artist. But it's a bad city.
Now, what were you saying about what happened? Somebody got unjustly...
Yeah, it was a Latin kid that was shot by the police, you know what I mean, back in like the 70s. And it was a group from out in New York that came down. It was like one of those Black Power type groups that came down. And what they did was they told all the black businesses to put a white flag on their door. Anybody that didn't have that, they were torturing those businesses. Which was stupid because you're still burning your own community. Now once they burned all of those businesses down and all the Jewish people left and all those businesses weren't there anymore, basically the community was left with nothing. So there was no money, no jobs, no nothing. And then with crack coming in like 86, and things like that, with the drug game, it was over from there, you know what I mean? And they're trying to bring it back now by tearing down some of the projects like Pistol Project, Dr. Station, and rebuild up from there, but you know what I mean? Right now, it's still.
The state basically took over the city because it was so corrupt. Like, the state troopers had to come in and police the city because it was like, it wasn't enough going on. So the state was like, well, we're going to come in and take over. But right now, it's still a lot of, if you look at the newspaper every day, it's still like a lot of corruption in the school system. Like, people abusing their power and stuff. So, we're coming to try to make things right. School face music forever. Camden, New Jersey. We reckon we're going to be the shining light in the darkness, you know what I'm saying? It's not all bad. It's not all bad. It's not all horrible. It's not incredibly horrible. So you don't want to go there at night.
Now, what were you saying about the dark cloud?
It just seems to be one continuous cloud that's floating over Camden.
So it's not an actual cloud you can see, it's like a spiritual cloud.
It feels like it's dark outside, honestly, it really does feel like it's dark outside. When you leave the neighborhood, you go to some of the more peaceful places, it's like, it might just be us in our brain, but just coming from that city, man, it feels like just a dark cloud over the city.
Does it feel heavy or oppressive?
It definitely does, which is why you want to hurry up and get out of the city. You know what I mean? It's like when you wake up in the morning, if you don't have business to do in the city, you want to hurry up and get somewhere else where you don't have to go back.
So do you think that cities have different spiritual influences over us?
It depends. If you're used to a certain thing every day, and it's like you don't want to break that cycle, you just want to continue doing what you're doing. So it's like, for us, like people read us and they're like, when we tell them where we're from, they're like, oh, you're from Camden? I wouldn't know. Because like, yo, you're so well spoken. I'm like, well, what's that mean? That's a stereotype. So like, everybody I went to school with graduated from college, and I graduated from high school in Camden. So like, you can make it out. That's the bottom line. You can make it out. Don't ever think because of where you grew up that's an excuse
so let me ask
for
you a
not
question.
making it out.
You keep talking about making it out. Do you think some cities have like a spirit over it that people have to escape from?
Not even that. This is my hood. and we representing this. You got that bad aura about it, and I want to represent the bad aura instead of doing something good. I would say that it's a bad spirit. Like it's like what you were saying. Like there is a bad spirit, and when bad things happen, bad things surround and make other bad things happen. And I feel like that's basically what happened to Camden.
Have you noticed when you go into a prosperity area, things happen? It's like there's a different spirit over there.
There's a different way of thinking. There's a different way of thinking. That's all it is. Definitely. It's palpable. Like you can tell, the air is different. When you just from going from an area like Cherry Hill, which is about 1 mile, 2 miles outside of Camden, you go right, as soon as you cross over into Camden, it's like the air is thicker, and the tension is palpable. And, you know, that's something that, you know, it's up to us to try to reverse it. I mean, nobody else cares. It's obvious. I mean, if you look, anybody from outside that looks at Camden and said, wow, I can't, you would not be able, you wouldn't believe that this is in the United States. I mean, this camera is not doing justice. Let's take this camera to the streets of Camden and see. It's like Beirut out there.
Well, already did a documentary. It was in Thailand. I don't remember what year it was.
Yeah,
but it was just like
that was like 2000. That was like 2000. You know, it's like literally there's a city right next door called Pensacola, New Jersey, and you could cross the street. 41st Street, the 42nd, you could stand on one side, the streets are all messed up. You know what I mean? You could stand on the other side, and everything is flat. There's trash cans, everything's policed well, and you could just look down one side, look down the other side, and see the difference from 41st Street to 42nd Street. That's how much that camera
going left, right.
It's two different towns. Like that 41st to 42nd creates a separation, and it's not like, you know, the mentality in Pensacola is a lot different than Camden. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it really is, and that's what makes, you know what I mean? There's a lot more concentration in Pensacola. Like this is Pensacola, so it's not as bad as Camden. So we got to keep it better than Camden. You know
so what would you do if I told you that the acts that men create that they do in a region can defile the land and bring in darkness, or when we do good things, we can reverse that. But basically, think about like spiritual gateways. When I'm blessing you and doing good things and doing stuff, I'm releasing good through myself. So think of it like this, I'm pulling good in. When I come in and do destruction, I'm pulling evil in. Is that interesting?
I mean, that's basically what happens, in my opinion, is that people do bad things, other bad things happen. Somebody, for example, in the city, if somebody shoots your friend, it's your job, it's your duty, and the mentality of the people in the city to go back and shoot that person that shot your friend. So it's bad because you're getting bad, you know what I mean? Whereas, like, if somebody stopped this, or if somebody, you know, ended the violence that was going on, there wouldn't be 2 or 3 or 4 shootings, because this shooting makes this one happen, and then this one makes this one happen, and it's just more bad.
Kind of like what we're seeing over with Israel and everything. It's like they just keep releasing more and more.
Nobody even knows how it started anymore. It's like it's such a vicious cycle, and it's a shame. It's like when you watch stuff on TV about Israel and Pakistan and everything that's going on over there, and you look like, wow, I can't even imagine how it is living over there. I can imagine how the kids are watching TV over there, looking at a place like Camden or South Central LA or the South Bronx, and saying, like, wow, I can imagine living there. It's the same thing. Just because you live there, you don't realize it. Just because we're not throwing rocks at tail doesn't mean that we're not oppressed. And, you know, people need to realize that and get up off their ass and stop making excuses. And that's what it's about right now.
You know, something, I was complaining one day, and I was just really thinking about it, and I was like, even with men and women and all the problems you see in life, and I was thinking, well, it's their fault, what's their fault, what's their fault? And I kind of felt this idea come to me. It's like, no, the buck stops with you. In other words, no matter what everybody else freaks out, it's up to me to stop and do the right thing. Stop, so that I stop, and no matter how it comes at me, it's like that I do the right thing. And hopefully good begets good, right?
It's all about karma and God. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's all about karma. It's like, if somebody does something bad to me, it's my job to stop it and say, okay, they did something bad to me, and I can handle it in the other way than doing something bad to them. But that mentality isn't in the city that I'm from. The mentality is, he did something bad to me, so I'm going to do something bad to him.
So that That's a good message. That's a great message. You guys, you're a band, right?
Absolutely. We're a record label, and we are trying to start a positive change throughout. You know, we're going to start it with the music entertainment industry, trying to influence these kids to not pick up a gun or pick up some crack and go sell it. So, you know, get educated and be all they can be. You don't have to be a gangster to be successful, you know, and that's what we're trying to teach. A lot of these cats out here, they're thinking now, in order for you to get something, you have to have this whole, I'm gangster, I'm a drug dealer persona, and we're taking it to the other level. We're a regular working man. We represent the working man, the everyday man, and we're in this struggle, and we're going to try to make it better, because that's all, it's up to us. There's nobody else that's going to help us. You know what I'm saying? It's all up to us to add positive energy into the equation to get rid of some of this negative. So Blueface Music is here to do that.
And what's the name of your group or band?
Blueface Music.
1, 2, 3.
Blueface Music.
You are watching Prophet.tv, worldwide broadcast streaming live from the internet.